Shannon
isn't available right now. Please leave a message after the tone.
Let's talk about the importance of being obedient to God while I clean out my handbag. A few months ago, I uploaded a video titled something like "Trusting God When Nothing Makes Sense." And then a few days later, I promptly deleted it. I had never eaten my own words so fast. I had never mentioned this on my channel before, but I was baptized into the Catholic Church just this past Easter. And until then, things were going great in my life. We were about to go to Thailand. I had just got baptized. We were getting married a few months later. Work was going really well. Everything was going smoothly. But that was until I got baptized. After that, everything started going downhill. I was thinking maybe I did the wrong thing. Maybe this wasn't the right church. I just really had no idea. And the things that were going wrong, I couldn't even make up. They were just on a scale so big that I can't believe I made it through those times. We were going to church every single Sunday. I was reading my Bible every day, praying every day, just trying to be like Christ. And everything just kept going wrong. And I kept thinking, why God, why me? And it felt like God had abandoned me. So I deleted that video pretty quickly. But despite it all, I kept praying to God and asking Him, why are these things happening to me? And I kept getting the same answer. And it came down to the fact that we were living in sin. Even though we were getting married in a few months, a sin is a sin, and we were living in the middle of it. By the way, guys, look at the amount of tissues I pulled out of my tiny bag. This isn't even all of them, but we'll clean that up in a minute. Anyway, it's so easy to say that you can stop doing sinful acts. It's a lot easier said than done. And for us, we were living together, and yes, I know that people will say don't live together before you're married, and I completely agree with that because I've lived through it. But at the time, it just wasn't feasible for us because we've been living together for 19 years and we have a son together. So we ignored that, and every time I prayed to God, I would say, I'm sorry and that this is the last time, but deep down I knew that it wasn't going to be the last time. And I kept going to church and I kept reading my Bible and I kept praying to God, and bad things just kept happening, just one after the other, and it was becoming so unbearable until I got to the point where I decided it has to stop. And this time was different. This time I was on a run with JR, and I just thought to myself, this is it, and I mean it this time. And I remember reading somewhere, someone said that if you say something but you've decided another thing in your mind, then it's already decided what's going to happen. And for me, all the other times I said I won't do it, I had already thought in my mind, it's going to happen again. But this time I made the decision in my mind that it would just stop, and then that was it. And I asked God, I said, I can't do this on my own. You have to help me. And the things that followed after that were kind of unbelievable in a way. Like I said before, saying one thing is a lot easier than doing it. You don't know how hard it is until you're in that position yourself. And I knew that I could not do this myself. I knew that the only way I would be able to do any of it is through God. So I prayed to God and I said, I mean it this time. You have to help me. And we were going through marital prep. I think it's called pre-canna. It's something you go through in the Catholic Church. I don't know if other churches do it, but it's basically a marriage preparation course. You go through things like finances, conflict resolution, all that kind of basic stuff, which I think is really useful. But anyway, the day that I asked God for help, we had pre-marriage preparation counseling with our priest. And he brought up something that it almost sounded like I put the words into the priest's mouth. He said, I know you live together, so I know things obviously happen. And he said, I want you to stop until you're married. And at the time, I was kind of dumbfounded because it was as if the words had come out of my own mouth. But obviously, I hadn't talked to the priest beforehand about this. He just brought it up, and it really had nothing to do with that day's topic that we were on. And we were, I think, 4 weeks out from our wedding. And for him to say that on the day I asked God for help was just, I knew that God had answered my prayer. By the way, I'm not really good at multitasking. There's still like a bunch of crap on the sofa next to me, a pile of rubbish. But as I was saying, God had spoken through our priest to help me stop living in sin and doing sinful things, even though everything else in my life I was doing pretty well with. That was one thing that I knew had to stop. And let me tell you guys, after we had decided to stop living in sin, even though we were still living together, obviously, life just did a 180, and those huge problems that were present and hanging over us like storm clouds, they just kind of dissolved. And it made me think about that video I uploaded months ago, Trusting God When Nothing Makes Sense. I was approaching it from an angle of where you just have to keep pushing through things. And in a way you do, but the lesson that I learned from it is that I cannot do these things by myself. I cannot do them without God. And I think God gave me quite a bit of lenience before I got baptized, but getting baptized and then continuing to do sinful acts, now I see it as maybe I was taking God for granted in my life. Well, not maybe. I mean, I was, but I didn't see it that way before. But now I can see it clearly, and that I was trying to do things myself. I was trying to do everything my own way, and God, as strange as his humor might be, I could not get through that huge mess of things by myself at all. And I think it was more about the fact that I needed to trust God in being able to do anything in my life instead of just trying to push through it myself. Obviously, God knows that. And the way he did it was take something from my life that obviously I was struggling with. He took a sin that I was struggling with and used that to show me that I can't do these things without him. The problems that came after my baptism weren't just random chaos. It showed me that you can't learn obedience until you're faced with something that you don't want to obey. And while I'm obviously not perfect and I'm still disobedient in certain ways, the fact that I can look back now and see that I wasn't being obedient to God, I think that shows the beginning of me becoming obedient. And I think the next step for me now is to stop being lazy. The wedding took a lot out of me. There was so much chaos going on, and now I need to get back into a routine. I need to start exercising. I need to keep the house clean. I need to stop squandering my time on random things. The random things I do, you would just think are nuts. Like, why would you do that instead of doing something productive? I don't know, but the fact that I've cleaned out my handbag is a pretty good start, I think. So that's all done, and now all I have left are a pile of tissues to throw out, and then I think we will find something else to clean because my bag's clean, but the house is a dump. One thing I really need to clean up is my desk. I did a lot of wedding stuff here, so naturally it's become a complete dump. But I did get this in the mail the other day, and it is the newest Bobby Goods coloring book. I think it's called On the Job. Yes, it is. I've been so busy that I haven't even flipped through it. But I'm hoping to get back into coloring soon because I did not really color at all while we were doing wedding stuff. And coloring is my relaxation time. So hopefully I can get this desk cleaned up and get back into that. It's actually embarrassing to show you how messy this place has become. But I will say that I did learn a lot of housewife skills during wedding planning. Like, I made everything myself because A, I'm a control freak, and B, I don't have enough hobbies as it is. I even learned how to sew. I sewed 75 napkins, I think. I sewed them myself, and I don't know why I took on such a laborious task, but I did it, and now I know how to sew. But now that it's all over and done with, it's time to clean up, and I will start by cleaning up my desk because I really need my workspace back. I bought this in Bali from Island Traders, and I totally forgot that I bought it, which probably means I didn't need it, but let's have a look anyway, because I've already forgotten what it is. It's an Ubud print, which I thought is a nice souvenir, even though I bought it in Canggu. But we do go to Ubud, so I like this type of souvenir because I can hang it up and view it instead of just having a piece of plastic crap laying around my house. So when we move, I will put that in there. There has got to be an easier way to do this, but I don't know where I put the little keyboard tweezer things, so I guess this is the way we're going. And don't worry, I took a photo of the keys, so I know where they're all gonna go. Look how disgusting this keyboard is. Look at the crumbs. I can't believe this thing still works with the state that it's in. Time to clean it up and put all the keys back on. See what I mean though? I could be cleaning anything, but instead I chose to do this.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done, and I never want to do that ever again. That was so tedious. I wouldn't even wish that upon my worst enemy. Now all I have to do is put him back on the keyboard. And I can't believe I chose that over cleaning anything else. The keyboard is finally clean, and putting the keys back onto it wasn't that bad. I did get a few in the wrong place though, but at least it's done, and I recommend just getting a keyboard cover and not eating food over your keyboard if you want to save yourself the trouble of having to clean it. And now it is lunchtime, and because it's Friday, I'm gonna find something that doesn't have meat in it because we don't eat meat on Fridays. So I think I'm gonna go for a microwave noodle soup that I have sitting in the freezer from Costco. I love noodle soup, but I can't be bothered to make it all the time, so I bought a pack of these from Costco. It's just hand-wrapped prawn wonton ramen with green choy sum. And it's made in Thailand. Actually, it doesn't taste too bad. It might be a little bland if you're used to authentic Thai noodle soups, but this one will do. That's what it looks like inside, and all you have to do is put the water in and then you just loosely cover it before you microwave it, and that's about it. There's the soup heated up, and because like I said it's kind of bland, I've got to do the Asian thing and add some toppings to it. This one's just fried garlic, and this one is not the soup, this is seafood sauce, but I couldn't find the vinegar, so I might go back in the fridge and have a look. Didn't find it, so I'm going with these. I'm just gonna put a little bit of this on because it's not really for soup and I don't know how it's gonna taste. There we have it, that's my lunch, and now I'm gonna go sit on the sofa and watch King of the Hill while I eat it. Found these in the pantry, which I bought in Thailand in the airport when we were leaving last year, and it does say it's best before the 21st of the 6th, and it is now December, but I'm going to try them anyway, otherwise they're just going to get worse as time goes on. Oh, I didn't know they came individually packed. So is there one in each packet, or let's find out. There's about 3 mongkut in each one. And if you don't know, this is my absolute favorite fruit, so I can't wait to try these, even though they might be expired. To be honest, they don't taste that great when they're freeze dried. It could be because they're past their best before date, but I would much rather just eat fresh ones. The next spot to tackle is the dressing table, which as you can see is very messy. It has accumulated a lot of things over the past few weeks, months even. Just before I turned on the camera, it was covered in clothes, so that's where we're at right now. It's finally time to take these perfumes out of their boxes. I bought these in Thailand last year. They're by Butterfly Thai Perfume, and I think I got them in Central World, but they have branches everywhere. They even have one in Jadadak Market. This one's Mango Sticky Rice, Caramel, and I didn't take them out of the boxes because these boxes are so nice, but because they're in the boxes, I never use them because I'm too lazy to open the boxes. So there's the Mango Sticky Rice one. They come in really nice packaging. And then this one is just Jasmine Angel. So I really love the packaging of them, but I'm not going to use them. Maybe I'll leave them in these boxes because these boxes aren't so difficult to open. That's the Jasmine Angel. Same bottle. These aren't the best perfumes in the world, but I like them because they're specifically Thai and they're very popular among Chinese tourists. There's always a queue of Chinese people buying these perfumes to take back home. But
but I think I'll leave them in these boxes for now and just throw out these parts. And honestly, I think the jasmine smells a lot better than the mango sticky rice. It doesn't actually smell like mango sticky rice to me. I think this is gonna be as good as it gets for now because we don't have a ton of space in our bedroom. And I'm probably not gonna have any time to film any more vlogs this week, so I hope you guys enjoyed watching me clean super random stuff around my house, and I guess I'll see you guys in Bali next week.